Hey everybody, it's Bust with Expedition Trial number 409. Let's see what shows up here. All right, man, let's just see this this Battle Scars Braum and want to take the dive on in. But this is our kind of second opportunity to draft Sion, or at least put together a video for it, and so that's what we'll be taking here today. Not a bad start with both the Great Physician and the Whirling Death. But let's go ahead and take a moment and get this pulled up on the site. If you're not familiar with it, we're just over here at ftpbus.com. We're just going to be on the main page or the expedition helper from the navigation bar. We'll make our way down to this drop-down box and take a peek at the cards that live in this Scion card pool. And so, yeah, this is meant to be taking advantage of the discard mechanic. All of the new cards in this card pool are meant to be taking advantage of that. So you'll have units like Fallen Rider that get some kind of bonus when you discard it. Not sure why Bandle Painter is here. That must have been a mistype from me. But there's other cards like Ancient Warmonger that's going to give you some kind of bonus for discarding it, and then Sion himself giving you a bonus with the discard. So then if you're looking to do all that discarding, you do need some kind of way to actually activate that. And so within this card pool, like Grave Physician will be your big one, letting you discard a card and then immediately replace it. And then we've had pretty good success with Roar of the Slayer. It plays better in much of a kind of more aggressive deck. If you're able to kind of trade off all of your opponent's early plays, then you can start smashing their 4 and their 5s with the Roar of the Slayer. That's kind of a necessity here either way, regardless of the style of deck, just having these kind of discard outlets. And so beyond the discard theme, this deck is really looking to do one of two things. The common way to kind of approach this deck would just to be picking up P and Z. If you can get the Piltover Champions, that should kind of line you up to be in a Scrap Heap style of deck. Scrap Heap being the kind of core theme as far as discard decks are concerned. And so the getting into P and Z gets you into the Jinx cards to where you can be playing with Get Exciteds and Rummages. Just have a handful of ways to discard cards, but then also have ways to add additional cards to your hand. You don't have to discard one of these discard cards to Grave Physician. Like, what if we discard a generated Mushroom Cloud? That's a pretty good deal, right? We're just basically playing this dude and drawing a card as opposed to just cycling a card. So that's kind of idea number one, is falling into a Scrap Heap deck. Idea number two is if you're able to pair this in with another Noxus champion and then chase down the Overwhelms. And so this has a pretty reasonable collection of Overwhelms at the rares between the Warmonger and the Basilisk Rider, but then there's a lot of high-quality Overwhelms littered all throughout Noxus. And so ideally, you would be paired with another Noxus champion, but you can also dive into Freylord and take advantage of their big collection of Overwhelms. But let's see how this shakes out. See what shows up here. Take the Scion and see who shows up. And so, interesting set. And so we can, look to stay fully in Noxus and pick up this Swain. This is okay. I'm not really excited about it because I just don't really like the Swain card pool. But it does have a lot of good early game 2-drops in it. And so we could piece together something reasonable. That way we should be able to kind of fill in the early game curve with the Swain cards and then fill in the mid to late game curve with the Scion cards. Certainly something to consider. Over here with the Relic Tracker's Action, this would be a way for us to just pick up a big bunch of early game plays. The Relic Trackers does line us up with a bunch of the Reforged cards. And so much as we talked about the Mushroom Clouds being discardable, having those Reforged cards works quite well on its own. And then the last choice down here in Tristana, I'm not super interested in this Tristana. The big thing that we would try to be pulling out of World Traveler's Tristana is the 4/2 quick attack for 3 that's attached to Noxus. It's quite good, but it doesn't really give us any kind of build-around strategy. So, yeah, as far as these cards are concerned, the way I see this deck kind of going is I want to take this Action. He's just kind of the premier early game play. I'd be quite happy to be picking up these various Reforged cards. And then we're going to try and sort our deck out to where we can get Draven as our third and our fourth champions. And so if the Scrap Heap cards kind of make an appearance, if we see like the Scrap Heap deck appear up here at the top, we're going to want to just go ahead and chase after those cards so we can try and get Draven as our third and fourth champions. He's just the premier discard outlet, right? Just having access to those spinning axes is quite powerful. But let's take a moment and switch over to this Akshan real quick. He's quite the strong champion all on his own. And the big thing that we're looking at with Akshan here would be the strike mechanics. And so you can see on Akshan he gets some kind of bonus if he does a strike. You're also going to see it on the likes of Vicar and Bruiser. And coming out of the Noxus side, we're going to have access to a bunch of Whirling Deaths. And so we can get some pretty reasonable strikes going on that way. Otherwise, my only real concern here is the lack of early game. There's just not a whole lot on the Akshan side here. We're going to have to find it out of the Riven cards. But that will be one thing. Otherwise, we can look to go after cards like Ruin Runner. Maybe we could also look to get a lot of this late game Overwhelm. It only has three health now. Not quite sure how to get these to update until the next patch comes out, but this Ruin Runner Shapestone nerf is in place at this point, and so both of these are a little bit weaker. But yeah, I think this will be decent. Let's see what shows up. Again, we're going to be just kind of like watching for Scrap Heap up here at the top. We don't see any of it here, so like what's our next choice? And as far as these cards are concerned, I don't really want to be stacking up too highly on spells, but I feel like we're kind of being forced into it here. I don't want to take the likes of the Bone Crusher or the Sand Spinner, and then Ruthless Predator, Brothers Bond are both fairly weak cards in this style of deck. And so I'm going to stick to this Glory and Value pack here, but we are going to have to put a pretty heavy focus on units from this point forward. Okay, and then these cards are horrible. I don't want anything to do with these landmark-based cards. Time in a Bottle is just pure trash, and we're at least getting 2 units out of this pile down here to the end. I don't think we'll have any combos with Crimson Awakener. It tends to just kind of kill off your own units in a lot of decks, but you can use it as a reputation activator, right? The reputation being the Sivir and the Blanc style of cards where 5 attack matters, and it turns out this guy has 5 attack. And so we'll see. It's kind of the best of the worst as far as those cards are concerned. Okay, and so again, we're going to have to like watch ourselves as far as spells go. So I don't want to take Grappling Hook, Whirling Death, and with these other packs, we're getting a removal spell either way, whether or not it's Whirling Death or Nox and Fervor, and it's a little bit unfortunate. Like I would rather be picking up like the Whirling Death and the Legion Grenadier, but that's just not how the cards fell. But I am going to come and take the Grenadier. I would much rather just have the 2-drop in this situation. Okay, and then our last chance to branch out into another faction. Not going to do it. We don't want to be drafting Bilgewater here. With these other cards, the Rite of Calling, it would be fine, but not quite what we're trying to do. We're getting a Reforge down here in the Runeweaver. Looks quite good. Okay, interesting set. The Lady of Blood is kind of okay. I'm not a huge fan of her, but she does give us a chance to pick up a ton of value. Otherwise, we're looking at this Trifari and Glory Seeker, but we don't really have ways to give it quick attack. We just have the one Runeweaver at this point. And I'd also kind of assume at this point, like the next champion we're going to see is Riven. And so we're not going to be able to kind of like flesh out with Draven. I think we are going to have to kind of think of ourselves as being an action deck here. And so I think I'm okay to pick up the Glory Seeker, just kind of push ourselves away from this discard mechanic a little bit. We're not like heavily invested in it at this point, and so I think this is probably a reasonable space to just say like, okay, we are an action deck at this point. Okay, so with these, I'm leaning towards the Iron Ballista here. The House Spider is reasonable, but we're getting not having too many troubles as far as our 2-drops are concerned. So we'll take the Ballista with the removal spell. Move on to the next one. Okay, just Whirling Deaths all over the place. These things show up quite frequently. But here, I don't want to be taking Glinthorns, although our top end is fairly thin at this point. Just one of the weaker ones. We'd rather have a big Overwhelm. And this is just another set where we'll take the Glory Seeker to avoid a double spell pack. Okay, well, Ruin Runner, this is your time to shine, I guess. I would like to fill out our top end with just a bunch of Overwhelms, and this is a fantastic way to do it. Still quite a strong card, even though it did lose out on that point of toughness. Okay, and so Retired Reckoner's okay in these kind of strategies. Another decent late game card. We should have a lot of ways to target it, but we are pretty thin on the Reforges at this point, so he's not fully strong at this stage of the game. I'm just going to come down here and take another Grave Physician. We are fully stacked on Whirling Deaths with 4 at this point, but I think this is just a much stronger kind of mid-game play. Okay, ooh, more Whirling Deaths. But no, here we go with the Ruined Reckoner, Ruin Runner. Just give us some more of these late game overwhelms. We're pretty firmly into being kind of like a mid-rangey style deck here, so happy to pick up these late game overwhelms. All right, all right. Another big closer with the Armored Tusk Raider. Looks pretty good to me. And the last one before we move on to the trade picks. Kind of interested in Sandswept Tomb, but I think we just fixed our late game, right? With the 2 Ruin Runners, the 1 Elephant, and the Sion. I think that'll be enough to close these out. We could, roll the dice with Basilisk Riders here. It looks like we'd hit about 75% of the time on the Allegiance, but I am also planning on at this stage just picking up Actions as our champion. So I think it's going to get much worse as the draft progresses. So we'll just pick up the Profiteer here. Okay, alrighty. Well, we do have to make some kind of trade here. I think I still want to stick to the Sion. He's not too unreasonable to level up. This is just one of the most fantastic late game closers, so we're going to hang on to him. I'm looking at trading out this Roar of the Slayer for the Rockhopper, but I would also be okay with picking up Weapons of the Lost. But Rockhopper should just be a little bit too good here, so welcome to the squad, my man. Then we do have to go turn something premium. Let's take a look at what's available. we've gone through quite a few of these at this point, so we're starting to run out of the new cards. I don't think we drafted a Reborn Grenadier, but Grave Physician is ready to go. It's going to be the backbone of this deck. Had we managed to pick up some more Reforges, I'm kind of like even just thinking of like, well, what if we were kind of planning on just drafting Actions, but what if we just take Rivens from this point forward as a means to try and pick up some more of these Reforges? I'm not trying to go all in on the sword. It's just whenever it comes to these Reforges, it's like I want to have a quick attack one that I'll actually spend. So like we spend quick attack on our challengers and then just discard the Overwhelm and the +2 attack one for some value. Or, you have lots of options with them, but we'll have to see how that plays out. Okay, well, we got a 2 that we're definitely hanging on to. I think the 4 is probably a reasonable keep. Just a very meaty unit and what is probably going to be kind of a mid-game battle. And so let's hang on to it. Oh, just immediately pick up Action. Nice. All right, not a bad start. Okay, and then I am okay with just kind of slamming into this Bandle Commando. If we can trade a Shaped Stone for it, I'd be pretty okay with that. We can't have them just sitting here generating these Owlcats all day. Let's see how that goes. Ideally, we would be able to give ourselves a bit more time before we throw down the combat trick, but if he just passes here, it's a bit unfortunate for us. Okay. Now we have this sweet 1 health Trifarian Crimson Awakener combo in our hand. Not awkward whatsoever. So we'll get a good Whirling Death this turn. Surprised he's not trying to quick attack challenge with his drummer. There you go. I don't think we have any reputation cards, but there's no reason to not strike with the 5 attack unit here. Okay, let's get our Ruin Runner going. I don't think the Wrathful Rider changes anything. We can't get a good hook onto the Hungry Owlcat. Maybe that's the way to look at it. and hopefully trade up with the Glory Seeker. Okay. Let's see how that goes. Something's happening. Sure. Alright. Cool. We got us a discardable card to the Great Physician if we want. Don't think we're really looking to midnight raid here. Like this game's going to be a grind fest for the next the next amount of time. The next amount of foreseeable future is what the grind fest will be. Just get all the words out of your mouth. It doesn't matter if they're in the correct order or not. Cool, not bad. I think that's what we're looking to do here. I want to get the Ruined Reckoner down and then just discard the Midnight Raid to the Great Physician. Sure. Give us them values. Demolitionist? Okay. And we get to draw a card from the palace. Oh, let's start with the relic. We know I'm not going to put down a 5/2 here, so let's just go ahead and draw our card. I think I want to take the Whirling Deaths as a way to protect our Ruin Runner here. Okay. I'd assume that kind of indicates he has no plans to attack here. I was like, come on, quick attack. Quick attack would be sick. All right, well let's get this six attacker attack in without being super obvious that we're going to try and Whirling Death down the Safety Inspector. He doesn't have good blocks on either of these unless he's willing to give up his Yordle. Boom. Hit him for the full 6. Have a big old pile of cards in his hand, though. I guess 2 of those will be generated multi-factions. Hopefully we'll see him dropping some Proto-Poros here. Oh, just so much value. It's one of the things, I don't know how much it'd say it grinds my gears, but it feels like a lot of Riot's design decisions have been just put like a mountain of value on every single card in the game. Kind of, I don't know, I guess it is what it is, but I'm not super excited about how every single card generates another card. Makes all the cards that just don't generate anything so much worse. Oh boy. Where did this come from? We can just Monastery of Harana, the Loping Telescope over and over again. This is probably like the best monastery you'll ever see, right? You don't actually want to play this, but being able to generate this card every turn is pretty huge. And if he passes, it's okay. It's tough to think that he's ever going to have like a good attack here. Maybe he'll come in with his 6/6. But I don't really want to be overriding units at this point. Okay.
Still riding that old sand runner? I'll buy you something nice. This sand runner made the Cyprage run in one day.
What do we got? You already got the spell shield, so let's just pick up the +2 health.
Let's get on with it. Time to collect. Solid uncooled.
Okay. All right, this one might be out of reach. We're basically just gonna have to end this game with Ruin Runner. Some burn spells certainly help though. So if we attack with everything, I think this might be safe. He only has one good block with his safety inspector. Let's slam everything in. See if we can't get a couple points of incidental damage in so that we can do like 6 + 3 would be 9. We only need to get in for a 2. It's not unreasonable to think that our demolitionist will get in for damage.
Back, fiend. Persistence is key.
That's the stuff right there. Gonna do it. Did we get him? I think we did it. Oh, they're out here manifesting cards, so I guess there's a world where they're able to gain some health, but I think we should be fine. Spend all your mana real quick. Okay. I feel safe now. Boop. Okay. Alright, so we have a real champion decision. I'm not looking to stack up Scions here, but picking up a Lost Soul is quite good. How much discard do we have to try and take advantage of this thing? This super high value card. It's a 2 physicians. Is that it? We traded away the Scion flip, whatever that discard thing's called. Yeah, we don't have the means to take advantage of a Lost Soul. And so I'm just going to come over here and take this high value set with the Akshan Battering Ram. Just a really strong set of cards to be picking up. The Riven, we could take advantage of this Bruiser, right? We have all the strikes to need it. We have like 100 Whirling Deaths, but I just don't think that's the way we want to go with this. It would be nice to be generating these Reforges, but we don't have a ton of ways to take advantage of them. All right, Akshan. All the Zeds. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to have to hang on to this Nox and Fervor. I want some way to deal with Zed if he comes down on the 3rd turn, even if it's not a particularly good one. It's just such a disaster if we cycle this away, play Zed, and then we don't have any removal spells. So we'll hang on to it. Okay, then these... probably just go for the curve play and the Safecracker. I guess we could think that like our board probably be empty enough to where we can use the Awakener. It's just like you just get one more point of stats, though, is from what you would be getting with the Safecracker. Okay.
Would you look at this place? I go!
Let's see what happens. I'm okay to trade out with a sparring student and it gets to his deck playing Zeds.
Hey, Crafty, what is in for you?
There he is.
Are you supposed to be here?
Sucks to get 2 for 1, but we can't take a Zed hit.
Full speed ahead.
All right, so now we do have a decision on the units here. I mean, wonder. It's like I want to play 2 this turn. I want to be able to follow up the Glory Seeker in case they have another Zed. So I'm just going to start with the Demolitionist. See if it's not able to get a good hook. Shark Conspirator. And then we're able to kind of go from that point forward. All right, that's...
The Yordle here's with me. Sharpen the blade, secure the kill.
Okay. And have Zed Part 2. Big decisions being made.
This mama is the beast mama.
Okay. Nothing changes up to this point. I mean, we could look to safe crack off this Bandle Commando, but just to prevent them from getting that stat bonus. But I don't think that's gonna play out here. We got to take this 7 hit, but we do shut down the Zed for another turn. Right. We hopefully the 4/4 is enough to just deal with him from this point forward.
The desert's prices, just the right price.
Okay. So all of our attacks are good. He's not going to want to block with the Green Glade Duo, but I think that's who we actually just have to hook in here. We can like deal with the Zed. We have enough ground blockers now, but against the rest of this stuff, we just have to get the elusives off the board. That's annoying. Okay, that's probably a game ender. How big are you, Sion? You're close. You're close. Are we dead? Reset? Nah, we're dead. I'm gonna say maybe we can pull off this this Sion double attack with a Ruined Reckoner. Oh, come on, God. This is like the worst thing. You never attack with Zed here. And it's so easy for these decks to have Whirling Death. You don't want to be attacking with Zed and opening up your elusives to get hit with Whirling Death. See, right? See why this is a horrible attack? Because we can do this 100% of the time, and then it just opens up your elusives to Whirling Deaths. Don't do that given the opportunity. Hate seeing the game end like that, but kind of is what it is. All right, what kind of upgrades are we going to get here? I don't think we want to trade out Sion. I still like having him like the one of copy as our late game finisher. You could say it's pretty easy to get up to 35 power by the late game. So I think we can hang on to him, although Sivir is quite good. I'm looking at picking up this Naturalist. It's a reasonable kind of interactive card. We can pop off, ancient preparations or action tokens if we need to. And I don't want to trade out the Physician, so let's go ahead and pick that one up. All right, that's not a bad curve. The Naturalist against the Zerath deck. See, I'm here to help you, friend. Let's do attack. Cool. And the Diaz, you got it. Interesting, just immediately trading off his attacker for the Diaz.
These dunes are the lifeblood of Shurima. And I thought there was something good to see.
All right, so we lose our Runeweaver this way. Maybe we should have gave our Runeweaver +2 attack, right? It's pretty obvious he's going to be just hooking it with the Sandcrafter.
I suppose you'll do.
Weird set of Sand Soldiers cards coming out here. All right. Well, if we gotta start doing something with these Whirling Deaths, I think so. Let's just go ahead and get the Ballista in. The kind of the same thing as these previous games where we are chunking in this overwhelm damage while we're at it. Okay. That should be enough to shut down their attacks for the turn. Except that one. that attack will still be happening, I assure you.
That's right. Run!
All right. Well, we got to keep getting this overwhelm damage in. I feel like we're gonna start to fall behind on board. How big is Sion? We haven't discarded anything, right? So he's +0. All right.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Oh, we're gonna have fun.
Sharpen the blade.
That's how you get a +10 on him, though. he's gonna be ready to attack here soon.
Cut them apart. Face me. You are mine. You should watch this.
Okay. I think we want to hang on to the Whirling Death here. Keep the trades so we can just kind of try and find this space to where we can close off with an Overwhelm, just Whirling Death a block on an Overwhelm.
Watch out for the rock dude.
Hey, better watch out for me.
Out here, you're moving or you're dead.
Okay. It's a little unfortunate.
Watch me.
Sion's going to be flipped when we play him, though.
I see you.
we'll get to pick up this rando 5-3, but hopefully we have enough to just close this one out now. Get ready for these scary animations. It's about to it's about to happen. Whew. I'm scared. This should hopefully be enough, right? We have the midnight raid for next turn as well. We got 16 overwhelm. He only has 6 health at this point. It's that premium Sion doing it out here. Oop, neg 1. Got him. Good job, Sion. Feel that Darius roll pretty well. All right, what do we got here? Yeah, I don't really want to trade any of these. Man, it's tough for me to not want to pick up these Xenotype researchers, but I think I still want to hang on to these handful of Reforges that we have, and then we're definitely not a Fallen Rider deck. We don't have enough discard to take advantage of this. So we'll skip over that. These overwhelms are pretty good, am I right? I think so. I think I'm right. Toot my own horn. Here we go. The action on action action. I think this should sequence out okay for us. It depends on if they start with like a rock hopper or if they start with an action. All right, if they lead with rock hopper, we don't want to have to play action into it, so we'd have to play our rock hopper to follow up against theirs. So if we go with our rock hopper plan, we are going to have to like wait a turn. Let's just go ahead and get our action down. Then we can try and glory seek away the opposing action next turn. This is like I don't want to attack into the ancient preparations and then just have our unit die to a shape stone. Oh, I just played the wrong one. I meant to play the Glory Seeker. I think this is okay. We did just pick up the Naturalist to take down their palace, but yeah, that's highly suspect seeing them drop a Diaz here. But yeah, that was a little sloppy. I just played the wrong one. I meant to play the Glory Seeker here and try and take their unit down. That's not very nice. All right, let's fix it. let's make this work this time. Definitely want to come in and pop this Warlord's Palace before it gets to flip.
If it was important, they should have built it better.
If he wants to go all in on the flip, I would imagine they don't, but it's not out of the question that they have 2 spells here. Still feels like he's got that shaped stone in hand. So let's at least get rid of this big boy. We can continue to attack with the naturalist. We'll leave our action back. There it is. What did you get? Spell shield. Sounds good. How far away are you, Sion? We got the Sion Ruined Reckoner combo again. Definitely got to look to pull that one off.
You like it? I mean, shut up and fight!
These little scamps will burn you to the bone.
I prefer my flesh unburnt. Please and thank you.
Please and thank you, unburnt flesh. See, these attacks seem pretty suspect with these bruisers or with these things coming out, but let's see what we can do with this whirling death. Just maybe should have like put our action out here so we could. No, we get the target off of the other unit, so he should just flip in our upcoming turn.
You cannot run from absolution.
Then this could be a world where we want to put the +1 attack on everything, so we can just get all this stuff going, as opposed to drawing a card. I think that's okay. Let's start with the Glory Seeker and just see how this turn looks to shake out. Also not opposed to, say, trying to, like, Midnight Raid action and get 2 attacks in with him, but it's doing nothing.
Seen tombs, towns, and everything.
What does the do nothing? Is he going to Spirit Fire us? Okay. I think I'm on board with that. We can close this game out reasonably easily with the Sion Ruined Reckoner combo.
Glory, face me!
And we're just making this attack to protect our Ruin Runner. But yeah, this looks like it's going to be a Spirit Fire. Nope. Wow. Okay.
Our proudest days remain ahead.
Interesting.
Onward, golden warriors!
Cool eye patch.
You like it? I mean, shut up and fight!
Here's our big boy Sion. He's ready to block. Do you wanna risk it? Do you wanna risk it, bud?
I suppose you'll do.
You want to give us that 10 power overwhelmer? I didn't suspect so.
Even steel sings its story.
Alright, this one's got to be done.
This is justice.
Cool. God, them Sion noises are scary. gotta get that out of here. Let's see, we've got our third action here. I think that's who we want to take. We don't want any of these Sion cards. We're getting a Glory Seeker either way, and then the Siphoning Strike is just better than the hook. So it would just be simply to take Riven for the Reforged generation. And we only have the two discard outlets, so it's not quite worth it. Cool, cool. Right, up against the Poppy deck. She's a little scary, right? We have to Whirling Death Poppy down. We don't have too many ways to deal with her outside of just being in combat. So let's do this. Let's hang on to the Glory Seeker. We'll reroll everything else and look for actions. And then otherwise, we'll go from there. Interesting. Not the greatest start against that kind of stuff. There's our boy. Planned it that way. Premium action, premium Warlord's Palace. That's what it's all about here. Okay. Not the end of the world. I suspected he was just going to get hit with Mystic Shot, so it's like we had a bit of a win there. All right, ready to block. Assume you hit the Glory Seeker. Yep, that's fine. All right. Seems good. Knows we got this one, and then I want to weigh. So if we attack with action, we can hopefully just deal with whatever his current biggest unit is. All right, not bad. All right. Well, this one's slightly awkward. I wanted to be able to get a unit and a Whirling Death down this turn, but we can't do that unless we use the Physician. I mean, I could use the Physician to just discard action. I think that seems okay. Then we'll get our action to flip. That's not too horrible. Our action gets to flip, and hopefully our big boys are enough to handle this board. Not seeing Poppy was pretty choice as well. We would have just lost a Poppy there.
Fixing the world one scoundrel at a time.
We can try Ruin Runner. Let's start with the card draw, though. Probably just have to take the Fervor. Profiteer could work. That gets us a... Okay, I can get behind this Profiteer. Maybe we can put the Lucky Find onto action and then still have the 3 mana to... Oh, hang on, the Nox and Fervor was in a in a predict. I thought we were just going to have Nox and Fervor in our hand as well. I think this is okay. Here's some tough O2. That was a less than ideal set of choices to come up. Okay, I'm not a huge fan of making trades against these Poppy decks, but we just don't have the means here to just like combat a Poppy, so I think we just gotta hope for the best with our Glory Seeker. Right, because it's so easy for them to fill out their board, but the Glory Seeker's not blocking anyways, so it's not like a big loss as far as she's concerned. All right, action landmark. It's tough to see you go, but we gotta get some width here. Is that it? That's all you're bringing to the party? Okay. All right. Well, I think we're starting to recover in this one.
This painting gonna be great.
Like, I was so worried about getting like our ruin runners mixed up in combat here, but
And everything in
it's like he might be serviceable.
Why not?
Okay, we'll send it off. We're going to be whirling deathing this submersible. I'd be really surprised if he actually blocks with it here. All right, all right. So we can end the game next turn, right? Between oh no, we can't attack with both ruin runners, right? This isn't a rally. This is just a well, I guess we could technically if he just doesn't block our ruin runner, or if we draw whirling death. That Sion flip as well. Oh, we can play 2 units this turn. It's probably a little too dangerous to be just be dropping Sion here.
Stand in trouble far as the eye can.
He's gonna have like a fully wide board.
Tough places breed tough people.
Noxus will pay for what they did to us.
Maybe able to lethal him, depending on what they do. Well, let's be real. He's never blocking. He's gonna block the thing, but it's gonna be with like the 3/1 here. So it's. It seems like it's probably still worth it.
Out of the way.
3/1. Mm-hmm.
Really?
One damage short.
Love
Till Sion comes down. He's by no means safe, right? They can play many morphs, but I think we're in a pretty good spot here.
victory requires a sharp blade. They've never seen a contraption like this before.
All right, I think that should do it. Sad face. But at any rate, I'm gonna hook.
News from the Undercity.
Brings in Caitlyn.
It's all in the report.
Still just gonna hook the Sting Officer here.
Oh, I'm going to get him.
Every fighter falls.
I don't think this game should go to more turns, but we don't have a way. Like if you didn't play a unit that had 3 health, and we could hook the Vandal Painter with. Oh, he had 2 3 health units, right? I'm gonna say if we could put a little bit less damage in front of the Tenor of Terror, then we could potentially overwhelm through. This looks like a mini morph. Yeah, that's fine. We still got it.
There is still time to surrender. Just say, oh, please don't kill me, Akshan.
Is that the way to do it, or would we rather hit the? Would we actually rather hit the Tenor of Terror instead of just going face? I guess there's ways for that to go wrong. That 1/6 card isn't in the format. It costs 3 mana anyways, but okay. That seems weird that you would want to hit the unit as opposed to just go face. I see.
with a smile.
Okay, so what do we got here? I'm not real big on these Imperial Demolitionists. I'm okay to get rid of that. I think we have 2 Shape Stones. I'm usually happy with either like 2 or 3 of these 1-cost tricks, so let's keep the variety and the Nox and Fervors. The Warmonger would be okay. We are doing quite a bit of this mid-game overwhelming, but I think I'd rather just get rid of the Demolitionist. Give us a little challenger for the mid-game. Okay, on to the next one. Whew. Has to be the same guy we played earlier, right? The singular copy of Zed with Vandal City has to be the same one. So I think we just got to do it the kind of the same strategy. We'll look for a way to immediately deal with Zed, so we can try and predict into one. Otherwise, we'll see how it goes. Right, well, Whirling Death would be one way to do it, but now we just got to kind of play under the assumption he doesn't have him. Right, I'm not going to skip until like turn 5 or turn 6 of the curve just to play around Zed. Oh, it's likely they have it. I mean, they have 4 copies of him, but our hand isn't really well built to deal with him. There's a way to deal with him.
What would you wish to learn?
I need just a moment.
Okay, well, we'll trade if he attacks. With send the 2/2 into the Elder. Now I'm gonna action shows up. I'm still gonna search for quick attack for our Glory Seeker. If not quick attack, something protective. Well, no, just quick attack. If he doesn't pick up quick attack, we'll just hopefully pick up like overwhelm. But I guess if we do give him +2 attack, we can, or +2 health, then we can shape stone it and have it survive this attack into the Elder. Nope. All right. Well, here comes the thunder.
You're mine.
Take him to 3. That's so close to lethal. Oh, we could have lethal, right? Well, I wouldn't go for it into their open 7 mana. We're risking just getting hit with Homecoming, but we could have technically gotten there.
That's my resting face.
Here come the elusives.
First step's the hardest.
Iron Ballista's decent blocker here. Might get us a kill next turn.
Never see us coming. Not worth my time.
All right, we gotta wear out that health if we're gonna try and get a win with the Ballista. Okay.
Don't want to die? Don't do terrible things.
All right. This is a little on the worrisome side of things.
This is justice.
Could have naturalist off the Warlord's Palace, but I just kind of feel like we might be able to get a Ruined Reckoner attack in here that wins the game. You're totally getting bounced Iron Ballista. Ooh. Ooh. Oh no. Oh, it's only +2 attack now. Shit. I just immediately thought Shapestone does 3. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. Does this get there? 6. No, he's gonna. This is essentially 8. How much damage are we looking at next turn? 5? Maybe survive this. Oh, we can get 8 this way, though. Alright. Found it. Oh, no, this is just going to take him to 1. Crap. Alright, well. Still getting it in here. If we'd done it beforehand, we could have potentially gotten the lethal, but we would have lost our unit here. Would have been fairly bad. Way has more cards here. No way. All right. Well, let's see. Let's see how much Greenglade Duo damage is coming in. And how do we handle this? Our action's never striking this turn, so let's just go ahead and delete the Warlord's Palace, and we'll add action. That should give us +7 in total for our Sion, so he's ready to be flipped next turn. He's dead. Yep. Okay. Damn. Okay, well, anyways, I think we're going to skip over all of these. I don't want the Bruisers, and then the Grey Physician, again, it's not like spectacular in our deck, but I don't think we're really looking for Boomerang Blades. Have the Siphoning Strike. We're not that like mid-rangey, it doesn't feel. We already have like 100 Whirling Deaths. So. Alright. So we could have done that a little different. We could have we were playing towards getting a win with the Overwhelm on the dude, whatever his name is, the Overwhelm Chariot. I can never remember its name, but on his last attack there on the turn with the where we just like traded off our board to try and remove its health, we could have tried to get some value blocks there to look at it a little bit differently, but. It's so tough against those decks to where you have to decide if you want to play against Homecoming or if you want to play against like Combat Tricks, because it's just so easy to get blown out if you're counting on one of them and then they have the other. Alright, what do we got here? These units aren't super exciting. I mean, we have a reasonable enough curve. I'm kind of tempted just to start throwing our big boys out here. Okay. Could have just skipped over that one entirely, but I think our early game is covered, and so picking up a Tusk Raider is not that bad. So weird seeing 2 Threshes in a deck. Nobody plays 2 Threshes these days. Do we ever block? I think I'm okay to just block it with action. It makes him susceptible to like group shots and Vile Feasts and stuff, but I think it's okay. And we have to open attack here. All right. Let's say he's safe for a while. Maybe not. Here comes the card. Okay. It's good. Not a bad curve. Probably just discarding the Reforged to the Physician. That's the plan here.
Words of power linger in the air.
Just banking. What are we running ourselves into here? Like a an action, or not action, the Vigio thing that gives like 2 damage drain, that thing? That would make sense. Glory Seeker's too good here to pass up on, though.
For glory, face me.
Interesting.
Alright, looks like he wants to drain us. That's why he's putting his point of damage onto the Iron Ballista. Interesting. I guess he 100% doesn't have that then. Okay, so who would Thresh hook here with if he only has 1 attack? You probably want to hook our Runeweaver.
Achilles, where are you?
Okay, big old chunk of damage. We could have just given everything +1 attack and probably been reasonably okay. Feels a little greedy against these really removal heavy control decks. If we to get like AoE'd or something, it's pretty terrible. And the Siphoning Strike, not quite ready for that.
There you are.
Take it and fall to 1. See it. Asking to get a big like blowout onto the Iron Ballista, but if we get in for oh, it's 1 short on the Tusk Raider. Doesn't matter. Okay. That's a pretty greedy block with Thresh. I'm surprised to put Thresh in front of our chariot thing. Right. Survived. Survived another day to get to play against that guy with the elusives. But what are we doing here? I'm okay to get rid of a spell. We're like slightly spell heavy. The Brothers Bond is a good get rid of since it's we don't have a lot of good targets for it, right? We don't have any quick attackers other than Akshan. So the Sand Spinner's fine. It's at least trading a spell for an interactive unit. It is Zed again. He's been giving us fits today. Right, well, These aren't realistic ways to answer Zed, so we'll get rid of everything. That's a little better. Perfect. That was Akshan if you didn't see us click on it.
Carrots can fly, Rib! Come on, Rib!
Okay. It's not the not the best glory seekers, but they'll have to be serviceable. Ooh, what do we think about just banking so we can try and shapestone a Zed? I think I like it. I mean, if this is the way we have to go about trying to kill Zeds and Green Glade duos, then fine. Oh really? Oh my gosh, we didn't wait a turn for that. Oh, that's that's brutal. I just had in my head like, okay, we've got it, and then, ugh.
Everyone here?
All right, well, at least we can do this one, I guess. This would be a little bit better with a shaped stone in hand, but wow.
This way! Go!
Oh, come now.
Okay, well, let's see if we can recover out of this.
Talk is worthless. We are what we do.
It's kind of nice to give the opposing team vulnerable, even if it's just returning a 2/2. Oh, this is a little one, not the big one. Okay. Definitely predict drawing. Get the Whirling Death. Give us hopefully an answer to a big elusive next turn. And I think we want to get... it's awkward with the Glory Seekers here. Let's add Sand Spinner. Right, these just never being able to block. I think this is okay.
Looking for a daring escape?
Okay.
Villains beware.
This would be pretty cool if we were banked into Whirling Death mana and had a had a Shaped Stone in hand. Not where we're at.
Hey, Krabby!
That's my resting face.
Carrots can fly, Rib!
See if he attacks with the Sparring Student. The other guy did the disaster attack here. Come on, people. You got to be better than this. So let's get you in here and Whirling Death. Take down the Green Glade duo. Hopefully that's enough to get us into next turn.
Victory requires a sharp blade.
Right, then unfortunately we can't overwhelm enough through this. Another Whirling Death.
Sharpen the blade.
Does this count as targeting for the action strike? Not sure how that works.
Fall to pieces.
I think we want to hook the Conspirator. If he's like we're fine to block his ground units, but if he doesn't have another witch, then like we can kind of deal with the 1 damage coming in with her. Shadows of the Past is a problem. You can just replay the outer ones. Okay. Oh, brutal. That's the only good Shadows of the Past I've seen in my lifetime. Alright, yeah, I don't think we'll be able to recover out of this one, but let's see what we draw.
Beat it, Rib! I wanna go home. Lulu! Where'd she go? Leave now.
Did you learn your lesson? I don't know how this works. If we try to spell shield our unit, I think this is okay. I think this works, right? We get to see the Oracle's Eye. Okay, that works. Oh, it does actually just kill our unit, though. Ugh. That's kind of a problem. We can get him back. I guess we can use the vulnerable thing out of the action flip to get it back. Gonna be a few points of damage short of lethal, though. There's 10. Grant enemies vulnerable and create 0-cost copy of our 6/4. Or otherwise, just draw 2. But we're like 1 short of getting through with the ballista. At least, I mean, it does let us take down all of his elusives, though, except minus this conspirator. I think that's the way we got to go about it. Uh-oh, he's doing stuff. That sounds like bad news. Okay. I mean, what can we draw if we aren't going with that plan? We don't have anything with our draw 2. It hit Sion. All right, but I don't think that vulnerable play wins the game here. Can vulnerable here and here. He's gonna get a conspirator and the living shadow, or he's gonna get the conspirator and the 2/2 out of his hand. Just don't think the card draws in our deck are good enough. Unless hit a Noxan Fervor, it doesn't seem good. He's gonna play the conspirator now. Say we return a Lifeblade. Oh, interesting. All right, I think that's as good as that one's going to get. Can't play our Wordling Death here, yeah. So he's gonna strike himself down. All right, so we can go this way. Oh no, this is gonna put an actual action back into our hand. No, it won't. He'll still stay on the board because he didn't strike anything. Okay. Okay. This gives us outs. He's done weird stuff, and so have an opportunity. That wasn't it. But we at least had a draw. We could have picked up our Noxan Fervor, or he could make another horrible attack with his non-elusive units. Okay, well, if you all learned anything today, anything whatsoever, if you're playing against Noxus, don't make these attacks with the ground units if you don't want to get hit with Whirling Death. It's frustrating seeing that happen multiple times. But here, we'll pass over all these. I want to hang on to our early game plays. Yeah, it's 2021. I thought that was a well-known fact at this point that if you can't block, then you can't get Whirling Death. Alrighty, well, not a bad start. Well, let's get rid of our 4 and look for something interactive here. Found it. But I guess we can't hate too hard. You know, if we'd managed to have our shape stone, there's a good chance we could have just actually won that game. So look that over though. We'll look over the old shape stone into nothing play.
I am here until I am no more.
Alright, Action, you dead.
These hands know metal and magic.
You served us well. I like this, just picking up the unit at this point. I think it's good. We need to be aggressive against this darkness deck. This is the best way that we have to do it. Pick us up the darkness. It's like, do we want to use the blade fragment? Is what this turn comes down to. Not opposed to it. Can't take down Vagar for 2 more turns with the Glory Seeker. We have to just get something going here. I think this is okay. It makes this only good Vagar block onto the 2-4.
Gaze into the light.
Mhm.
We resist to the last.
Oh, big chunk of damage. Cool.
The light remains.
So if the extent of his turn is like darkness onto Rock Bear, that feels like a huge win for us. Cool. And so yeah, the thing I'll be looking to do here is we'll just play the Wrathful Rider this turn, and then see if we can't get a hook with the Glory Seeker, and if that doesn't seem serviceable, then we can try and do Battering Ram things. We just need to get a handful of damage in here for our Nox and Fervor before they can play the big lifesteal thing. Yeah, we're gonna have to be on the Whirling Death plan. I believe that they're going to play the 4/5 lifesteal unit here that generates the darkness.
Lord Vega, you cannot rush perfection.
So where does that leave us? I feel pretty safe just playing a Siphoning Strike this turn now. And that should let us attack for some more damage. Like, so if we say Siphoning Strike the Robe Maker, I was looking at just Glory Seeking the Prey. That puts the Fading Icon onto Runeweaver and we get in for 2. Okay. All right, we're starting to get some width. We can get an unimpeded Wrathful Rider hit, and that would be pretty nice as well.
Light is a lure in the dark.
Okay. Gross. Okay. Okay. Okay, that's a little worrisome now that he's able to play some of his bigger spells onto our Battering Ram. We gotta keep adding dudes to the board though. Oh, Ruined Reckoner. It's timely appearance for you. And we're not even strong enough to take down the Sentinel now. Oh, that's gonna be it. I don't think we can recover out of this one. That's so brutal. Like, we're just stuck having to spend 2 spells on this thing. Gross.
Steady as life and death.
Move or cease.
We're gonna make this gigantic investment in battering ram, and he's just gonna have the Senna spell to take it down. We're getting close. Getting close with him. It's not all hopes and dreams with this, I think. Okay, well. That at least makes me feel a little better. If he doesn't have the, if he had a big removal like a crumble or whatever, he would not be playing the darkness on our 4/8.
I will shape death
Of course.
easily as clay.
So frustrating.
I move forward. Sure about that?
He's gonna have like so many opportunities to deal the damage with this thing. It's literally gonna gain him 12 health. So frustrating. There's the whirling death to potentially get through it. But yeah, that's the one we want. We want whirling death. Okay.
Make the darkness your own.
Well, we got the lethal on our next turn. If he doesn't have a life gain or something along those lines. Right, here's the 10. It's going to block our battering ram, and we're going to whirling death. Maybe. One-time dealer. Okay, we can beat Withering Well. Depends on how fast they generate darkness, right?
Nagakabura sends her blessing.
Alright. Alright. Did we do it? Did we do it, battering ram? Did you save our day? Nice. That's the stuff. That's the stuff right there. Okay, so, oh man, we can just pick up our 4th action. We're going to pass on that. We're going to come down here and pick up Captain Farron. He's completely ridiculous. Our games have been going kind of late as well, so feels like he should be a real winner here. Okay, as far as these go, I'm not opposed to decisive maneuver, given our late game is all short around the overwhelms. That's close. Like, we never want Preservarium. I don't want the battering ram. Our late game is good enough at that point. It's whether or not we want this kind of interactive spell. I think it's okay to let it go. The Sand Spinner plays so well with our actions. Here I will trade out the Rider for the Hourglass, give us just a little bit of interactivity here. And our last one. Which one are you, Fallen Reckoner? I do think I like you more than Battering Ram. It's turning off their blockers. I don't think we need multiples of Siphoning Strike. It doesn't do a whole lot with Sion. Definitely don't want Grappling Hook. This one's close. I think I do want this Reckoner. It's just a little bit cheaper, and then turning off the blockers is such a good deal. Okay. Alright. Salvaged it. Ooh, that was close. that 4/5 lifesteal is just so soul crushing. I'm glad that we were able to take it down, but dang. All right. Not a bad start. I mean, the Profiteer is slightly awkward. Like, if we were on the evens, I'd be really happy to keep it. It's just like with this deck, we have like a ton of Glory Seekers, but we don't have any way to give him quick attack, and so the Profiteer is pretty good in that sense. I think we can get rid of the Physician. We have all these twos. Now, let's hang on to it. Give us a big open attack on the 5th turn, maybe. Cupcake. Okay.
Don't want to die? Don't do terrible things.
Uh-oh, Action. They're coming for you. I think we want to just go ahead and send our Glory Seeker into the bird. I was kind of questioning whether or not we even wanted to play the Ballista. If we're like, the way that we're trying to sequence this is to get a good Profiteer. Then, like, if we don't play Profiteer, then, or if we don't play the Glory Seeker, then we just have to play the Profiteer onto Action. But I think this is okay. Then, of course, losing our Action isn't the end of the world. Seems like he's got some kind of trick lined up for us. Nope, just protecting his 3. It's a pretty good 3. Whirling Death does change things a little bit. It's like I'm not like ultra worried about this Lucian. But I think this is okay. Yeah, he just like has a trick 100% of the time though, right? I think we're gonna fall too far behind if we don't start doing stuff. Right, we shouldn't actually be blocking Lucian though. We don't get anything out of that. Then the question becomes, should we like actually just use the Whirling Death? I like this more. We're just preventing 1 damage by blocking with Action. We were getting kind of like double strikes out of him, like the Whirling Death strike, the Palace strike, but it's too easy for him to have a good trick here and make this all fall apart. Alright. That was strange. Also strange he attacked with Lucian way out on the left. But should have a pretty safe Action attack this turn.
What do we need a key for?
Oh, no longer do we have that. All right, things are picking up. We got pretty strong mid game here as well. Captain Farron's about ready to go.
Go on, little one.
All to 10. He's not playing Darius or anything. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He is playing Jarvan. Okay.
They told me to keep this one, but I like you.
Already got quick attack, my man. Did we already pass? Did he just auto pass to us? It's like I wanted to keep Whirling Death mana up in case he had Cataclysm. I just got really confused by what happened there. Maybe he just pushed the button really fast. We're still good to Ballista, and I figure we'll be drawing cards off the Relic of Power. We can give that a moment. Have the good hook onto Safecracker with Action. We can hook Jarvan with the Glory Seeker. We have these 2 good units getting in for damage. This looks strong. We can still just give everything +1 attack. Or we could look to just Whirling Death Jarvan. This is another one of these games where I don't feel like we're going to need the single card draw because we're about to draw Captain Farron. So let's do this. Let's give everything the +1. Let's put Jarvan on the left just in case he has some kind of thing to prevent these combat damages. Come in.
We found out.
Okay. We could have Whirling Death something there, but it still feels like a little suspicious in what he's doing, and I'm kind of cool. Grand Plaza. Okay. It's like I'm kind of cool just going into next turn, being able to play like a defensive Whirling Death with our Captain Farron, and then being able to throw Nox and Fervor to the face. I think we're in a really good spot here.
Finally, some action. I'm ready to get bloody. Try to run.
Okay. This is absolutely fantastic for us. Alrighty, this one should be done. They have to just have like units in their hand at this point, right? Given the way this game is sequenced. Feel like that's gonna do it, especially when we have 11 damage of burn in our hand. Kitty cat. Nice. Nice little 7 winner. Ooh, okay, I thought there were many times that we were going to fall, but we were still able to pull that one out. So let's get this pulled up. We'll talk about it a little bit more. This kind of devolved into a good cards deck. I would think that we would, kind of like at the beginning when we were talking about the decks this can turn itself into, one of them being that kind of like mid-range overwhelms. That's essentially what this turned itself into, right? We didn't go like all in on the action themes. There wasn't too much self-targeting. We had a bunch of strikes in the Whirling Death, but we passed on all of the payoff cards like the Vicar and Bruiser. But then on the flip side, is like we intended to do a lot of the scrap heap things, and then those just never showed up. So we didn't really do that either. The only thing that we like really pursued with any real interest was getting these late game overwhelmed game closers. And so, I mean, that's fine. It's just not a real cohesive deck, and this is just kind of a good cards deck in my opinion. But it turned out, reasonably well. But yeah, you can kind of see where you want a lot of these combos to fall. The one way to chase this is directly building around Akshan. Akshan wants the strike units, so you pick up Vicar and Bruiser. The Bruiser needs strike cards to happen, so you'd be using the likes of Whirling Death and Siphoning Strike to get all those strikes in. But of course, we passed on that. And so there is the Sion discard scrap heapy kind of build around. With that, you would have wanted to focus more on the cards like Runeweaver to generate the Reforges. And then we did it a handful of times, right, where we discarded a Reforge to the Grave Physician to get a little bit of value. We weren't able to really piece that together. The Quick Attack Challengers with the Glory Seeker, we weren't able to piece together either because we didn't hit all the Reforges. We didn't hit any Legion Drummers. And so, yeah, it's like we didn't hit on any of these like actual build around strategies. The only thing that we ensured that we made happen was picking up this overwhelming late game. And we really just recommend you do that with any of these Noxus decks anyways. Like, you don't really want your late game being the 6/5 Fearsome, Minotaur Reckoner, like just those random big dudes that don't have Overwhelm. It's so tough for those to actually come in and close out a game. And you could see how even in those games we lost, we were like right in the mix of it with these Ruin Runners and these Tusk Raiders out here being able to close things out. So, yeah, not a whole lot to go on here. I wish we'd been a little bit deeper into one of these strategies so that we would have kind of a more cohesive deck to talk about. But at the end of the day, sometimes the good cards decks are still good. Akshan is just actually a fantastic tier 1 champion. This is kind of the quick and dirty as to why he's still sitting up at the top of our tier list. Well, he's in tier one. He's at the top of our tier list because he's in tier one, and alphabetically he's first. But this does really illustrate, the real strength in him. Just having the 2/2 quick attack, generating that thing, generating the Warlord's Palace. Just so much value coming out of one card, and just even if you just have like some of the minor combos, like hitting a vulnerable with a rock hopper, then getting a quick attack challenge. It's all just so good with him. But yeah, he gave us the real early game core that we needed to stall out and build up to get to this late game. Not a bad set. So yeah, not too much to talk about there, but let's go ahead and claim these rewards, and then we'll call it a day. Okay, mirror image. Welcome to the squad. Event pass. Who is that? Is that Lucian? You look creepy. Looks like Riffraff. he needs a big chain. All right, what is this thing? Not a cat. Get that out of here. We're getting there. We're probably almost done with the event pass. Look at that. We're getting pretty close to the end. What do you get? Prismatic Tristana? I'm glad we didn't turn her premium. we got to remember to go through and watch for these before we turn stuff premium. We turned Zed premium, and then he got into one of these event passes, and I don't remember what happened, but it felt like it was really not worth not worth what we had happen. Cool. Oh, it was a champion capsule. I was like, cool, we got a Vagar out of a capsule, and it was just a champion one. Yordle Ranger? Cool. Is that it? We got something on the home screen here. Some kind of Ziggs reward. Go us. And so that is going to do it for us today. Hope you all learned how to overwhelm your opponents a little bit better. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.